right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA Podcast. My name is Keith, here once again with my buddies Chuck and John in John's house.
Oh,
Say what?
OG podcast haven.
Raisin Bran reactions to the NBA champion.
We are recording late at night.
Late.
It feels late. Well, John's the one who seems to be dragging the most.
Oh, it's 11:30.
I had a long day.
It is.
It's a big day. So we're over here. I brought the podcast equipment in a laundry hamper. I felt like maybe I should take that on Shark Tank. Portable 3-man podcast kit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Put it in a big old laundry hamper.
Yeah, it'd
Worked
be
out
like
just fine.
Blue Apron. And you just send them a podcast a week.
You really aren't a middle-aged person until you are like you do one of those meal planning services and or have a podcast.
Or a Yeti tumbler.
Yes.
Dude, I got 2 of the 3.
If you don't have a Subaru
Yeti.
Outback and a Yeti tumbler, you're not really a white person.
I pulled up to John's house tonight, and there were 2 Priuses, and I thought yours had given birth. But it was just his sister.
That's my sister.
Because it's your obvious
car.
birthright.
Yeah, my favorite restaurant, actually, you have to show your Yeti cooler to get in.
Yeah.
It's kind of keeps out the riffraff.
Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah, it keeps out. Honestly, I've been hankering for some Cheesecake Factory.
Never been.
I haven't been in several
Man.
years.
Aren't there like 7,000 menu items?
It is incredible that
Yeah,
they paid
no, the
anybody to
menu
know that
is 38 pages. That's no exaggeration. I think it's
You know
38.
Vince Young went bankrupt going
Yes.
to Cheesecake
Yeah,
Factory
I do.
every day.
He went to the Applebee's too.
Yeah.
He was doing those
Brutus.
37 tequila shots.
32-ounce beers.
Was
Big Brutus.
Linda White did the same thing? No.
Speaking of
Please say
Titans
Cheesecake Factory.
quarterbacks, we just retired Steve McNair's number. And
He went to Dave & Buster's.
years after he stopped playing.
He had the clams.
and breathing. But was it the Collison guy? What Collison is it? Nick or Darren?
Oh yeah, Nick Collison has his jersey retired.
Collison.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
insane.
day after he retires.
Some racist junk.
Man.
Yeah, I don't like the Grizzlies haven't raised Zach and Tony's
They're going to do Nick
numbers
Calathis first. They're gonna
numbers
do
to the
Nick
roster,
Calathis.
but Nick Collison gets the immediate.
It's garbage.
Bryant
Oklahoma City.
Reeves, Mr.
No,
Grizzly.
my next birthday, I've been batting around this idea. This is the kind of thing you do when you get a little older. Maybe you have a little more discretionary income than you used to have. My next birthday, I want to get a big old group, go to Cheesecake Factory, and everyone has to spend $100, and you just order for the person to your right.
This is pretty brilliant.
Man.
Just call up any Tennessee Titan.
I lost the game of credit card roulette.
The worst game ever invented.
Oh, it's an amazing game.
I
The
am
worst game ever invented.
I am victoryless in that
Me
game.
too, man. I always
I've done it 3 times. I'm
Oh,
0
really?
for 3.
Yeah.
Last time I did it was at the Peppermill in Las Vegas, which
That
wasn't
seems
bad
bad.
because
Yeah.
we could have went someplace in Las Vegas and
it could have been a
mess,
mini grand.
man. But I'll never do that. That's the worst game. The person who always brings it up never loses.
Yes. I also have done the credit card game with a person, and when that person lost, I guess you lose when you pay.
You lose.
He's like, yeah, I got it. And then we get there, and we're outside, and I see the owner, like, coming angrily, and I realize he
did
didn't
not
pay
got
for
it.
this. And then, like, my buddy just bolts, and I was like, well, I guess I'm paying for this now.
Oh man.
I played the most dangerous game and lost.
I was on a guys trip where we did. You guys remember Cha-Cha, the service you used to text? It was like an information service. It was like before. It was like the
Movie phone?
It was at the beginning of smartphones,
Yeah.
but you could text Cha-Cha any question and you could answer it. I'm surprised you guys, being like me, never really having jobs that.
I was busy back then.
You were busy, but I'm saying it seems like the kind
I
of
had
thing.
an alcohol problem.
It was the kind of thing where it's like, oh, you could answer questions for Cha-Cha for like you get paid 20 cents per answer. Anyway, we would do a thing where it's like, hey, who's paying for dinner? Cha-Cha, pick a number 1 through 9.
Okay.
Or Cha-Cha, pick a number 1 through 6. And I was on a guy's trip where the same guy kept losing because initially we just did the names like, hey, who's paying for dinner? We listed
Keith
everybody's
is
names.
pretending to have 8 friends and 20 friends. Big group of people. And then
Yeah, no.
Pick a number 1 through 9.
All the friends at dinner were they're outside the photo, they're outside the frame.
cropped out.
Everyone's having fun.
We had a live look in on the Raptors locker
Yeah.
room.
So the Raptors. Should we talk about it? Do we do
Yeah,
breakfast? What
who
do we do?
cares?
I had an
Yeah.
amazing breakfast.
What was your breakfast?
What'd you get?
Go, John.
So I wake up, and my girlfriend
Boobs.
at 6 a.m. is modeling and making me watch her model different, like bikinis and stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
So I'm like, this is breakfast of champions.
Uh-huh.
But then at the end of this modeling session, after we've decided which bikini she's going to take, she's gone to Vegas.
Whoa, Vegas
She's
time.
going to see Lady Gaga.
And
Oh.
what hotel?
And then
is she
I
staying
think,
in?
naturally, we are about to have some sex.
Yeah.
She zips that bikini up in her suitcase and leaves.
She's got to go.
Yeah.
She's saving herself for that man
So
who's
for breakfast,
ravaging
I
her.
had a 90-minute erection, 90-minute unsatisfied platter.
Didn't see that coming.
I remember being married.
I've just
Yeah.
been miserable all day. I'm exhausted
amazing.
now because you can't go back to sleep.
I can tell you if she's cheating on you or not based on the hotel. Would you like that information?
Sure.
What hotel is she staying in?
It's like the Greek theme one.
Okay, she's fine.
I don't
If you're
think so.
staying
You
at
mean,
the
you mean
Aria,
Caesar's Palace?
No, dude. The
that's
Aria-
Roman.
Venetian.
oh.
I think it is the Venetian.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
No, that's where
I'd like to
adults and
delete the
grown-ups
part where
go.
I said Caesar's for great. It's late.
Yeah, it's
Little
like-
Caesars.
yeah, if she went to the Cosmopolitan,
Avoid the Noid.
she's now currently in. An
I'm
orgy.
being cucked.
Can they?
She put on different, and these are not her normal swimsuits.
This is what she wears to lay
One of
out.
them had a breast window. There was a
Mid-boob?
There was a window.
mid-boob. I love
I wish you guys could see this.
No, you should probably
I'm
stop
John
doing
is
that.
pressing
I'm
his
mushing
Steph,
my-
his Steph Curry chest.
It
together.
is the
John's
opposite.
wearing the Steph Curry City jersey.
The area of the 3 and the 0
touch.
where that's is about where there was a window.
I want to know.
Revealing
I want to know
cleavage.
if it's legal, trademark wise, to open a Little Caesar's Palace.
That's kind of great.
They can work something out, right? Because
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace, they can work out an
Yeah,
understanding.
and you would get the hotel room for $5.
Isn't that like with one of the? Isn't the one of the owners
5 minutes.
of the Celtics?
Degenerate gambling.
Part of the Caesar's Palace ownership.
Are they?
I think so. Chuck, what was
cut.
your breakfast?
I had White Castle, but
For breakfast? I didn't know they did that.
I woke up at 1:00, John.
Oh,
So I was just like, they do Postmates now. So I had
Postmates White Castle.
yes, and I felt obvious guilt from waking up at 1:00.
Was it
and
still like $30?
the things I did the night before? Yes, it's like $18
Is there
delivery.
a way to do Postmates or Uber Eats without spending $30? Has
No,
it ever been
impossible. I tried to.
I've never done a Postmates or an Uber Eats.
Yeah.
done? What?
Oh man, my whole life. If I stopped Postmates, I could probably retire in 10 years.
Never?
It's most of my income now.
Yeah, like
Bad.
I would just do the Cheesecake Factory and spend so much money.
I'm gonna get Keith an Uber Eats gift card and ruin his life.
You really are. No, it's a thing where we spend so much money on food as it is.
Right.
Where I've actually been working really hard to I'm going to eat food in my house.
Yeah.
I'm not buying lunch. And if I found out there's a very convenient just delivery thing for any food.
Oh,
No, I get it.
Yeah,
It is.
I don't want to start doing that.
I get it. I started using Uber Eats after like some arrest where I couldn't drive.
yeah. No,
So this is the downward spiral.
I had a bunch of free, like, whatever. I gave a bunch of people a code, and they got $20 off, and then I got some.
And you get like really stoned.
Yeah.
And you just can't go anywhere.
And I shouldn't drive, so it's
Yeah.
a good thing for me. But
I
yeah,
get it.
Yeah,
Being stoned and having access to an app like that,
yeah.
that's candy to a
So, but
Well,
what I
that
do is
the business model.
it is business model. It is instantaneous gratification. It's worse than microwaving food. Like that's
Yeah.
like, as far as like effort.
It is cold.
At least you have to walk to the kitchen to do that. I have them deliver the food to my door and just leave it on my doorstep.
I've also factored that
So I don't
into
have to
my
see
never
people.
entering into that is knowing. I feel like I know how to get the food I like the quickest.
Yeah, you
already.
You can lose yourself watching them on the GPS.
and so
my
and
favorite
so
game
and so
now.
knowing that they will be that much slower, and then it's like I don't know what this food's going to be like when it gets
I've
here.
seen it where they've clearly gone home to like poop or something, and when they get to me, I have this look of just disappointment. I'm like, I know what you did.
Bought
I
your
know
weed,
exactly
man.
what you did.
Yeah, but finish my White Castle story. I was guilty about the amount of alcohol I drank the night before this morning or yesterday. What time is it?
I don't know what to
And
do.
I ordered Impossible
NBA season
burgers.
is over. What? Oh no.
Yes, it's the fake meat, genetically engineered, scientifically modified meat product that
been
tastes
cucked.
just like a burger with half the fat.
That's interesting. I had veggie
no
burgers for dinner I don't really have a breakfast, and I hadn't had a veggie burger maybe ever. My wife grilled some that were recommended to her. Fine.
There are some brands that are good. There is a whole movement of fake food that
I'm in
plant-based food. What do they call it?
I have no problem with vegan stuff or vegetarian stuff. I don't like it when they try to make it taste like the meat stuff.
Why?
It's just failure.
Why? You can
condiment delivery system.
You can eat something and not have killed a thing to taste the same exact
Carbon
product.
footprints, John.
Carbon footprint.
Important.
When there were one set of
Cruelty-free ideas.
I've seen how they kill those animals. It seems pretty painless.
Yeah, but have you seen how they made seitan?
Just Javier Bardem style. Anton Chigurh.
Those animals know they're going to die. As we look at
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr know he was going to die?
No.
Let's get to some of these reactions. So we watched the Toronto
Kevin
Raptors.
McHale, who looks super Irish and drunk, and also was wearing sneakers with a suit.
What's Kevin
on
McHale
television.
doing?
Kevin McHale
on TV?
He was on TV. You didn't see that.
Yeah.
But he looks, while you were fixing our audio difficulties, me and John were roasting everybody. They were in the locker room in Toronto, they were spraying poutine gravy everywhere, which is strange.
Oh, they just let the fans in from Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
they'd loaded up the poutine cannons.
Mm-hmm.
Just pegging little bats at each other.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good time. So those were our breakfasts. We normally move to our breakfast in bed. Apologies. I think we can just move on to Toronto Raptors, champions of the world.
They did it. Man.
Masai Ujiri.
Masai Ujiri made all the correct moves. Our boy Marcus Saul.
God created Masai Ujiri. Masai Ujiri created Toronto Raptors basketball.
I'm seriously
Toronto Raptors basketball eats
curious as to what will happen in Canada as a basketball country now that they won. After I watched that Vinsanity documentary,
Yeah.
Vince Carter turned them into a country that produced more number one draft picks than New York City.
Yeah, but that was Andrew Wiggins.
And don't forget Anthony Bennett. Big time Kelly Olynyk.
Do those really count?
Lottery picks. Was it Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's from Canada? There's a bunch of Canadians in the league who are balling.
There's a bunch of them.
And all these guys are spurned on by a guy who got them to the first round of the playoffs. What is this going to do to basketball?
What you're
Canada?
saying is we actually need to create some targeted ads towards Canada. There's probably some hungry
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
new basketball fans out there.
And they have expendable income because of universal health care. We should probably try to get on Canadian TV. We should be a Raptors podcast. I mean, the money's there.
Yeah. I don't know if the starters want to take that.
Oh, wait, is there a podcast that does that? I didn't know. But yeah, I'm interested.
R.I.P. the starters.
It's strange that there's a world champion not in America, but I'm sure that's happened.
Never happened under Obama's watch.
I'm saying Trump.
We just exported the NBA title.
Yeah, you know what this has to do with? This is all.
I
about,
might need to tweet something.
This is all about trade.
This is as unlikely as Cool Runnings.
But I'm curious what this will do to the league too. We've got Clay, who is in a contract year now, who might have tore his his knee up.
Let's talk about that tearing the knee up. This finals was, I think, very, very exciting. Except for the fact we kept losing main characters.
Yeah.
Much like a Game of Thrones season.
Yeah.
This was the Game of Thrones seasons we needed because it's like, oh, Kevin Durant's out, he's injured. Oh, he's coming back. Oh my God, they just crushed his head.
Right.
Like he got taken out, and then Klay Thompson going down.
Clay was the red wedding.
It looked like it was going to be maybe just a re-aggravation of the injury that kept him out earlier, but it seemed maybe worse-ish.
Asterisks upon asterisks were being piled on.
It's not just I'm not worried about the asterisks because that's really a thing, but it is weird that these, just the carnage of these two guys, both who could be free agents. Clay is a free agent. Durant can opt out or has to opt in, I think.
If he does,
it seems wild that the Warriors lost in this manner. Is it because they made a deal with the devil?
Yeah,
i.e. Boogie Cousins.
Ooh.
Even Boogie Cousins, like that didn't work out at all.
No,
I mean this is what the cap structure left us to have, where players end up having to sign big contracts if they perform well. And these guys are champions and
But the cap structure doesn't mean 3 of your best 5 players have to get hurt horribly.
No, I know. I know, but that's what happens when you invest so much in those assets. You've put all your chips in the Kevin Durant basket.
I'm really worried about how many times I'm going to hear the phrase load management for the rest of the summer.
Oh, the rest of the NBA ever.
No, this just there's too many games. And we need to have a one and done tournament. This sort of injury stuff is going to happen when teams make 5-year runs where they're playing 6 games a series. For
a one and done tournament.
Yeah, like the NCAA. I think it would provide more excitement and
Chuck
more...
just casually just dropping bombs.
Yeah, and I think we should have. I've said this on the podcast before. I think you were missing, but yeah, usually. I said we should do that and have 50-something games. There's too many games, and these guys can't play at the level that they're playing at for that many games and not expect.
I feel like the owners they'd much rather just sit their best player whenever we go to see them.
I'm with that too, and soccer clubs do that.
Maybe the Warriors did not make a deal with the devil. Maybe this might be. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory or might just be a bit of some voodoo. Mm-hmm. The 2017 NBA All-Star Game was in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm thinking maybe on a Friday, Saturday night, you had Klay Thompson, you had Kevin Durant, you had Boogie Cousins.
Yeah, he was.
They were out there, like maybe they're getting their fortunes read.
Serpent in the rainbow.
They meet up with John Wall.
And Dr. John.
Isaiah Thomas comes in.
Power.
And maybe they make a deal. Maybe it doesn't work out so well. Gordon Hayward was there.
Mm-hmm. They're singing.
That's a lot of horrific injuries.
Yeah.
For the All-Stars from just 2 years ago.
Dwight Howard's ass.
They're making sacrifices to Alegua.
I mean, you have 3 Achilles tears just among that group. And then you have the Boogie, his injury. I mean, counting Boogie's Achilles tear, but then he got, been banged up again on the comeback.
Warriors' Achilles was Achilles.
Nothing happened to Kemba Walker.
I think it's interesting though. Like,
Oh, Carmelo was there.
Oh wow,
Carmelo, who had the career-ending something,
and the
how he never came up with an injury.
His marriage ended too. Yeah. So all this stuff now, though, I think like with dynasties and things like that, I don't know if you can do more than 3 or 4 runs like this in a row now, because the league, once you do something that works, will engineer a franchise, which was what Toronto did to beat this big team.
I feel like you're retro engineering.
I know. I like
a narrative there.
No, I think
this Toronto team was not built to beat a full strength Warrior squad. They were definitely built to beat a Warrior squad without Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. Like they looked incredible against Milwaukee. I don't know if it would have been a different series. I don't know if
I mean, technically, I picked them to win.
You did.
I mean, I was worried that wasn't going to come up.
I said if I had
you guys
to.
said 5 or 6.
But I just said 6, because basing it on, we thought, like you're saying, Chuck, that the Warriors' depth isn't there because of the salary cap leak reasons. But because Durant was out, even though they'd taken care of business and we ran off all those stats, how they won 30 of 31 games without Durant and with Steph. Still, the lineups that I saw them playing against Portland, I'm like, there's no way those are going to work against Toronto, I don't think. But they did kind of.
They did work against Toronto.
Toronto, they won champions, all that. But there are a lot of parts of this series where they should have put their foot on the necks of the Warriors, and they just didn't do it.
Did not, man.
And it made them look like they weren't. But I think they would have held off and just had enough strength to hold them off if Klay stayed healthy. I don't know if Durant.
So if Klay stays healthy, I still think maybe the Warriors were going to. I think they were going to win Game 6, but I still thought the Raptors were going to win Game 7 because I just thought they had just too much to overwhelm a Durantless team. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the game was close when Klay left.
It was.
So I mean, it doesn't mean they lost the game, but the Warriors were still absolutely in it to the final seconds, as we all saw. Steph Curry got a wide open shot.
And poor Steph, 0 for 8 in baskets to take the lead.
Yeah, that last play,
his playoffs, I believe. Yeah,
where he got that open shot was insane.
Such a series of sequence of last plays in this game.
I know. But these two, I think big picture, I'm a little disappointed that we weren't given the healthy fight that I was hoping for at the beginning of the series. Even if Durant was gimpy, if he stayed,
so you're not a Raptors fan.
No,
a violently over cheering injurious players,
man.
Raptors fan.
I was like I did this. I literally did the same thing Drake did. Like I threw my arms up.
You pretended to care and overacted.
I definitely.
By the way, have you guys ever cheered injuries before?
Define cheering.
I have in moments, especially at live events.
Yeah.
Seen a player on the opposing team go down and been ecstatic about it openly. And I felt guilt afterwards, but I don't blame the Toronto fans. I've seen that happen a lot in sporting events.
It's a moment, and they rectified it within a minute or so. It didn't continue.
I don't think there's anything unique to Toronto fans.
No,
that made them cheer that injury. If that had been in any other arena, I feel like it would have happened. I don't think I've ever spontaneously erupted happy at an injury, but like right now. I was cheering hard for the Raptors in this series for Marc Gasol reasons.
Right.
When Durant got hurt, I did not cheer, but I knew in my head, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
This might be more of like a hockey or football thing because that's like an impact causes it.
Yeah,
but I have been like, get him.
Yeah. So, like I guess if like a quarterback
in basketball,
if a quarterback gets crushed and you're like Peyton Manning's leaving the game, I'm kind of happy.
Yes.
So there was a time in. When Boston played Miami and Rajon Rondo got through the ground by Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Where I was indifferent about it.
You cheered it.
I wasn't happy.
You cheered it.
I was like, you know what, good for him. It was more like a karmic, oh yeah, whatever, you're a jerk kind of thing because I didn't like Rondo at the time.
I'm saying
I love him now.
Is at the moment all those fans cheered. I understood.
Yeah.
I understood we the North.
And like,
it happens.
I don't get the silly
we're passing around Pascal Siakam post-game photos.
Straight stunting.
Dougie Fresh, another cool runnings reference will be dropped.
Yeah. No, it's
John Candy over here.
Yeah, I've never outwardly cheered somebody getting hurt, but there's,
Let's moments. since we missed our breakfast in bed apologies, let's move to actually a couple of timely listener questions.
Mm-hmm.
The croissant questionnaire.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Knock yourself out.
That croissant. Finish that croissant.
All right, so this is about the injury. Feeling Minnesota asks if Durant happens to opt in with his set-in-stone plans of not playing. So it seems like Durant's not going to play next season.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, it's just crazy. It's just a weird...
I know. It's like LeBron not being in the playoffs is going to readjust our perspective on what the league is.
I mean, I was joking about losing a lot of players from the 2017 All-Star game, but we're legitimately... have lost a hunk of talent from the NBA. Yeah. Whatever you want to say about John Wall, just losing... we lost Kristaps Porzingis, random. The Knicks traded away a hurt Kristaps Porzingis just because they wanted to sign Kevin Durant.
Now what?
Now you're going to take another year? I mean, maybe the Knicks are still going to offer him a deal. But anyway, it's just crazy. Durant's not going to be in the NBA next year.
Yeah.
But Clay may not be in the NBA.
Yeah, we don't even know.
So check out the two teams that just played. The two teams that just played are going to be so demonstrably different because Kawhi will be gone.
How do you know that?
We don't know that.
We don't know that. We can't guarantee that. Paul George was supposed to walk out of OKC, and this is a much better situation than that.
But Kawhi's been orchestrating his move to...
But it worked out perfectly, so who knows? I mean, he won the title. He can leave. Toronto fans can be happy.
He can dictate in that locker room exactly how many minutes he wants to play. If so,
he can do that in any locker room
if he needs to. Well, he can now.
Let's go to finish feeling Minnesota's question. If Durant happens to opt in because he's not going to play, he gets that's $32 million of Golden State's cap would be for nothing. Who would be your tentative favorite for the 2019-20 season, and even adding in Clay now? So just after watching this game, an hour after this game is over, who are our favorites to win the title for next year?
I mean, we
Milwaukee.
gotta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Milwaukee, John. That's,
if we
seems like the right answer.
It's the safest.
Yeah.
if assuming Kawhi leaves, yeah, I'll probably put the Bucks up there. Where he goes matters. If he goes to a team that is already kind of built for his greatness to take him to that next level, he could do what he did here. He's that good. But I don't know. Who knows?
If the news comes out that Klay Thompson we're assuming Klay Thompson, I guess worst case scenario, it's probably like an ACL, MCL torn.
And it's
so that would be like
6 months.
Like that's not a full year injury,
Right.
so he'd be back. But with Durant's injury, if Klay Thompson is injured, would that influence Kawhi's decision? Would he look at the landscape of the league and be like,
I can
oh, maybe I can come.
I could get a repeat
Yeah.
on this team? Would that
Right.
change his plans maybe to go to LA?
I don't know. It seems unlikely considering he left what had been a good situation, but probably not enough had been made of how badly the Spurs Leonard relationship deteriorated. Like it got. I think if that's any other team, that's lampooned and a bigger deal is made. So perhaps the kind of like utopian society that is the Toronto Raptors organization, it seems, could lure him back.
the UN.
I mean, God.
No, it is.
It seems so beautiful. Even
No one's going back to the Spurs. Coaches are jumping off that ship like rats.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I alluded to this when Kawhi was sitting out. If it was because of some sort of organizational problems, and maybe somebody started drinking and was a jerk around the office, and people just are leaving now, and maybe that wasn't. It was being held together by Tim Duncan's Dungeons and Dragon games.
damn straight.
Tony Parker had to get out of the NBA.
Yeah, well,
Tony Parker did a farewell tour to Charlotte.
yeah.
That doesn't happen.
So
It's not normal behavior.
Well, Tony ran out of. He had to go do something else. He ran out of wives to sleep with.
Eesh.
I would think it has to change the entire. It sort of changes the free agency landscape because you have these teams that realize, oh, maybe our window is done. Like the Rockets, I feel like we're getting this close thing. Like, you know what? Maybe Daryl Morey was thinking our window is done. He's not being helped by Tillman Fertitta cutting costs
Certainly
everywhere.
not.
But if Klay Thompson's injured for a while and Durant's out for the season, now you're like, oh wait, no, our window is not done. Like it reopens the window for all these teams.
I really think it is a uniquely bizarre way to finish the season.
Yeah.
No, it just leaves it sad. There's just no, and now like I gotta think Anthony Davis news is gonna excite me.
It's
Like-
pretty. I mean, it's pretty large.
Anthony
development.
Davis wanting to go to a team that might not be very good. I mean, but that's the thing. If it does seem like that all the stars are aligning necessarily, or it's working out, most people feel like he's going to go to the Lakers. And if it is a wide open league next year, LeBron and Anthony Davis with a bunch of just whoever else.
Seems good.
Toronto was a well-run organization and had a coach of the year, an executive of the year before Kawhi showed up, and that's why Kawhi won that championship.
A coach of the year who was no longer employed.
Right. I mean, but they were a successful team. They made it. They were a 60-win team. The AD going to the Lakers is not the same thing as Kawhi going.
I'm just saying right now
to a functional
for a
organization.
lack of an overwhelming favorite in the Western Conference. Getting LeBron and AD, I suddenly give them a little more credence, no matter how terrible that organization is run, that they can be competitive next season.
Yeah, I think there's just there's an organizational rot that I'm not certain has been excised.
It seems to the bone.
It's definitely not excised.
And
no one is saying it's excised.
But name a franchise that's won recently with a front office in that sort of disarray.
I don't know. Is the Cavaliers a tight ship? They didn't.
I mean, David Griffin was good at his job. He was at least good at his job.
I'd say it harkens back to like the Kobe Shaq
Bumble
cancer
Yeah.
to the core relationship.
Yeah.
So
But
thinking about
perhaps that's exactly what we
thinking about Kawhi Leonard. I was tweeting this. I was compiling all these things that are just general facts about Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhiisms, if you would.
Because someone texted me, and I mentioned this to Dave DeFore on the episode on Monday. Someone texted me, is like,
I've been
hey,
pronouncing it Duffer all this time.
I know that's actually very accepted. Emphasizing the Duff is always okay with Dave. Somebody texted me saying, hey, does this mean that Kawhi is actually the best player in the NBA and he's maybe been the best player in the NBA for a while, and his injury against the Warriors made us not realize he was the best in the NBA because everyone assumed the Warriors were to win that, and even though they were up 25 when he got hurt, everyone was like, yeah, but they weren't actually going to beat the Warriors. So now Kawhi, he has the highest winning percentage in NBA history of any player.
Grief.
Just period. Mm-hmm. Winning the Finals MVP, he joins Kareem and LeBron as the only Finals MVP to play for to do it on more than one team.
I think Fred VanVleet should have been MVP.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you watch the games,
just for that Nelly Band-Aid.
In these last, if you count his 2016 postseason and in this current, or the 2017 postseason, excuse me, and this current postseason, it's like 36 games. In those games, he's averaging 29.6 points per game, 8.6 rebounds per game, 4 assists, 1.7 steals per game, shooting exactly 50%, exactly 40% from 3, and 89.94% from free throw.
Then
anyway,
it's meaningless.
It's meaningless because he just missed the 50.
Rounding up doesn't count.
So he's averaged 30 points per game in these playoffs, his last 2 playoff runs, and he hasn't lost an elimination game in 3 years. Is he actually the best player? Is he actually that Michael Jordan level of player? And we don't really know it because he's doing load management. He set out a year.
What's the strangest part about it is also when you watch him, he kind of looks hurt.
Oh, he definitely in this finals he looked hurt.
He didn't
and
jump
ending the
off
Raptors.
off his left foot for a whole game, I think.
He's probably one of the most enjoyable players to watch that I've ever seen.
I'd love if, we found out after the game he had a major injury.
His defense hasn't even been very good,
right?
Because he's hurt. He's just kind of loafing around out there.
It's weird.
Yeah.
He has such a cerebral element to his game where it's all about where he puts himself on the court. Because have you ever seen a guy his size just effortlessly rip the ball away from larger players as frequently?
There was a kid in middle school and he just had bigger hands than us.
I mean, it's just he always is in the right position. Then he just has this incredible hand strength to always get the ball. The way he plays the game. It's like his powers come from sources we haven't seen before.
The way he plays the game that I hadn't noticed that much before this postseason is the way when he's moving slowly and going towards the bucket, and then just knocking dudes over.
His ball handling is so secure.
Yeah, the fact that he has that ball inside his giant mitts, and he's just getting the contact. He's finishing all these and ones. The play where Kevon Looney hurt, like nothing I've ever seen. It was like Thanos punching an Avenger. He knocked
Ant-Man.
Kevon Looney, just sent him flying on just a drive to the basket.
And he goes at Draymond Green, the other best defensive player.
Yeah.
Goes at him.
I mean, Draymond
savagely
brought it. He was awesome.
I think, to me, if Draymond Green was the most impressive player in the series.
Nah, he was. He was fun to watch.
But Kawhi, I guess I'm not exactly. I've lost the forest for the trees here. But if you're asking to me, where does Kawhi land? I think it is in that rarefied air now.
I'm starting to.
He gained the most.
I'm starting to accept the argument. He's actually the best player. He has that thing where it's the playoffs, backs against the wall. Sure, your team had a better regular season record, but you're not beating me, which is what we remembered about Michael Jordan. I feel like he might have some of that. The way he just forced himself to the line over and over in these postseasons, or the postseason games, when he had to, when all the other Raptors were sucking it up, he was like, I'm going to get to the line 10, 11 times. I'm going to hit 90% of my free throws.
Where are you on the Kawhi floppage?
He's a flopper.
He's a bad flopper.
And
but he's not great at it.
And he's kind of over-exaggerating.
He's not as artistically pure as
He's
James
really
Harden.
bad at flopping on his jump shots. He doesn't get the calls.
Right.
I like so Kawhi is an incredible talent, one of the greatest players I've seen play. He's gotten that place, I think, though, interestingly, kind of in the same way, in a weird way, differently than Jordan got to his greatness. Jordan was a maniacal competitor. And I think Kawhi is only comfortable when he's playing basketball. It's a weird personality thing. I don't know anything about the guy, but I think he's at home on that court. and his, social anxiety, the things that come out that we laugh at him about, the chuckling and stuff. It makes him. This is where he feels at home. And
so what's funny to me is the way Kawhi answers questions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, just seems very normal.
It seems
and
like
very well reasoned. These questions are absurd.
Yes,
they're bad. Yeah, bad
usually
questions.
bad questions.
And he has the balls.
There
to say,
is-
I don't know.
There is a level.
I'm not sure.
I mentioned this to Keith during the game. There's a level of disdain I think he picked up from Popovich.
I don't even know if it's
I don't
disdain.
feel it.
I like John's angle because they're like, what does
Very matter of
winning a
fact.
title mean for the city of Toronto and that fan base?
Oh no, I just moved.
I don't know. You
gave
probably
me an
have to ask
apartment,
someone
though.
who's lived in Toronto.
Yeah.
and that's great. But but there is a little bit. There's a disdain I can.
He's
taste.
like Putty from Seinfeld
He
to
is
me.
a little.
Like he's so
He's
glorious.
There was a moment before
And when he explodes into devils.
Do you remember when Norm Powell? Somebody tried to give him a handshake in the hallway before the game. And
Yeah.
He
Just knocked it.
He pointed.
He just pointed. Let's go this
Get on
way.
the
He's
court.
like, hey, give me a fist bump.
it felt like Stringer Bell when he was holding that meeting in the funeral and they were doing Robert's Rules of Order. He's like, no, man, this is a business.
yeah.
Let's get to work.
Yeah.
Another question. Owen O'Neill asks, I saw something on the New York Times about Memphis fans wanting to throw a parade for Marc Gasol if the Raptors win.
You can come to the one I'm throwing on Gallatin Road in East Nashville. It's not really parades, more of me just going to four bars.
Are we throwing a Marc Gasol parade in Nashville?
Let's do it. I'm doing it.
Let's do it.
No, I'm doing it. You don't have to. I mean, y'all don't have to come. I'm going to be drunk and probably on hallucinogens.
At the very least, we should buy hotel rooms for Marc Gasol's parents.
Oh hell yeah!
But hey, we got some nice hotel rooms for
We'll
you.
send them an invitation.
We'll send them an invitation.
in Spanish, and some nice jamon iberico along with it. It'll get them here.
Thinly sliced.
But Owen O'Neill's, to finish this question, he wanted to know who would be the best grand marshal of a Marc Gasol
TA.
championship parade.
It's
TA.
Tony alone.
The best thing that I've learned about TA is that he can't pronounce Kyle Lowry. And he just calls him Kyle Larry.
That's kind of amazing.
I think
Zebo.
Tony Allen's the correct.
Zebo.
Oh, Zebo.
I mean, you could have co-marshals.
Zebo preceded by 17 mastiffs or pit bulls.
And then just like a clown version, like those big fake versions of people,
Yeah.
like the presidents.
Probably of Marc Gasol because he probably won't be there.
Nah, we get a fake version of Derek Fisher, and then we'll have Matt Barnes. Just
I've got
I've
that Marc Gasol 7 foot tall life size banner.
Derek Fisher Pinata.
Matt
dressed in all
Barnes.
John, what do you think about Memphis fans wanting to have a Marc Gasol parade in Memphis?
So I feel extremely out of touch with all of this. Because I could not even root for the Raptors.
Right.
And I'm uncomfortable watching Marc Gasol play for the Raptors. And I also thought Marc Gasol's contributions were kind of overrated for the Raptors.
I disagree there. He had a bad game 6.
Well, this game was bad.
Yeah.
But
There were-
like Serge Ibaka also played well at times.
Serge just killed it,
Yeah.
man.
So I mean, like, it wasn't even that. Like, I feel like it might have been much ado about nothing. I'm very happy for him as a person, but I'm also an insecure idiot. So now I'm like, are people even going to remember that Marc Gasol?
I don't think it's much to do about.
Right.
I don't think it's much to do
Nobody
about
remembers
nothing.
Pau Gasol
I
being on the Grizzlies.
I don't think the Raptors win the title with Jonas Valanciunas.
No. They eked out a
I
victory
don't know
against
if
the
I agree.
Sixers.
His
and
defense
Mark
was
ate
so good.
Yeah, and
JoJo's
Jonas's
lunch.
is so bad. So.
Right. Mark was pretty much the difference.
Mark was bigger in the last series than this.
Yeah,
one.
in the Sixers series, he
that's a good
Mark was
point.
averaging 14 points per game before this. I think
Right.
did he finish with
in a couple
3,
in a couple
1?
games he had great offensive games, but
so
he shut down
His great offensive games they usually lost.
Yeah, he
But
shut down.
no, that's not true. That's
Really?
that's 100% not true. The Raptors had won 11 consecutive before games 5. They'd won 11 straight.
He led the game in scoring in the last one. For
11 straight playoff games. The Raptors won 11 straight playoff games when he scored 8 points or more.
Okay, that's not what I said.
So I thought you said when he scored a lot they didn't win.
Eight points or more is not a lot.
I mean, but
They won every single game when he scored more than 8 points.
That's not a lot. Like he had the game where he scored like 18 points and was their leading scorer. They lost.
Yeah,
But
I don't
in that game,
feel like 18 is more than 8.
but
feel like you're not hearing
in
me.
that game he held Boogie and Bogut to like 1 for whatever They both made 2 shots together.
Yeah.
So on defense, he did.
he owned Embiid and he owned Vucevic. Not that they needed it that much, but
Boy, did he own Vucevic.
Yeah, but he was an important part in that Sixers series. In this series, he wasn't as necessary because they didn't have a big man that mattered.
Well, yeah, I mean, Dubs put Draymond at the 5 a lot.
Right.
And Draymond played very, very, very well.
and especially in this last game 6, they were picking apart Gasol. It was sad. So that doesn't answer. So you say you're out of touch.
Yeah,
is it sad? Some people have argued or criticized it's sad for the Grizzlies or Memphis to throw a parade for a guy not on your team.
He's a Memphis.
I have always laughed at fan bases that did stuff like this, like Ray Bork for the Bruins when they were happy for him getting one with the Avs. So yeah, I guess it is sad. Now that if I'm being honest with myself, I've laughed at other franchises.
Do you guys remember that the Tennessee Titans threw a parade after the AFC Championship game?
Oh no,
no,
I don't remember, but I saw photos of it. And I was like, what?
That's why they lost.
I don't remember that.
It does seem like loser mentality stuff.
Kinda is.
I mean, the Grizzlies are not going to win an NBA championship, so maybe we need to take this moment.
Soon.
Maybe we need to take this moment.
I think it's a wonderful thing for a person who literally grew up. He moved when he was 14 or 15 to Memphis, and he has a long, history of being
from Memphis. He's like
what
he was like the leader in games, minutes. He got passed in points by Mike Conley.
A charity,
rebounds,
a
blocks,
bunch of
everything.
Kids get sneakers or go to school because of things he does for Memphis. Is right for Memphis to show love back to him.
Here's my question.
I'm not going to make fun.
This is a Grizzlies team question. Okay. I don't remember what it is. Mike Conley is like 60 points ahead of Marc Gasol on the all-time Grizzlies scoring list.
Uh-oh.
Does Marc Gasol pass Mike Conley?
So you're saying Mike leaves and Mark comes back? I love that.
I mean, I just don't think it will happen.
Okay.
Now, if Mark comes back, which is very possible,
it's just a question. If Mark ever comes back,
if he comes back, can
it's only like
he's got to score.
He has
2 points
so
a game.
few years left.
You probably would need Mike to get traded in this offseason and not score.
Please
anymore.
God.
So,
Please
but
God.
do you think? Yeah, it depends on Mark's how Mark wants to end his career.
He'd have to play like 5 more years.
No, he's only opting in. You assume Gasol could be a Grizzly next season. Probably not because Jonas Valanciunas opted out. What is that?
Yeah,
we're not going to talk about that, are we?
That means they're going to sign into a long-term deal.
$60 million.
I kind of like Jonas, but I want the salary cap to be clear,
right?
For my jaw and JJJ.
I guess it depends on what this taste of championship vino does to Mark.
That's what I'm thinking. If he's
a prized possession now.
Yeah,
he's going to go to the Warriors for nothing.
Exactly?
Yeah, he may
exactly
chase that fix. He might
chase that
the
ring,
dragon.
man.
I mean, would you want to go back to gritting and grinding after playing the beautiful game?
I don't know. Like after Canadian taxes, it's just pretty much the MLA. $30 million.
He smoked weed for the first time in Memphis, probably with Zebo. He
definitely was Zebo.
He probably kissed his first girl there. He probably
was Zebo.
Also with Zebo. I can see him coming back to Memphis. That's a fun thought.
Let's do one more cross-on question.
One last dance.
Unrelated to the NBA Finals. Trey Jacoby asks,
"Sup, Trey?
What kind of life do you think each co-host would live if Fast Break Breakfast never existed?"
I would run a blog talking about the movie Bright. Shout out Trey.
That's a very specific answer, Keith. I'm very, very interested.
I'll do fanfic. Bright fanfic.
The answer of this question.
It would be detective novels.
This question seems to imply that Fast Break Breakfast has changed our lives in a significant way.
No,
it's taken literally every minute of my free time. So I just would have watched way more movies.
Yeah.
I want to think. I think hopefully I would have found a way to make a little bit more money. But this has mainly replaced my free time, and so I've just missed a lot of. I would have seen more movies.
I'd be doing open mics, comedy. I would be doing comedy still probably because I crave the adoration of strangers.
Got to eat that mic.
Yeah, I crave the adoration of strangers.
Oh, so this fulfills it for you?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
it really
nice.
has. Yeah, our Slack is all I need to fulfill that last Maslow's hierarchy.
I think I would be like still more of a Grizzlies homer because I would not be forced to watch the rest of the league quite as much.
Oh, interesting.
And be forced to like look in the mirror and be like, Oh man, I probably would rather watch that Raptors game.
And if I could be,
I would definitely switch around the league less.
if I can be completely honest with you, the year we started this podcast, I was a disheveled fan who just lost
Right.
the greatest
lot of
player in the
heartbreak.
league at that
Colangelo.
time. I may have bailed on this league
Yeah, that's
entirely.
Chuck may not even be an NBA guy.
I probably would not have been able to watch out of pain. I'm choking up.
You would have gone full big three. You would have been full big three.
Yeah,
guy.
I probably.
Go Spallers.
I probably would have. I don't know. Maybe started playing Fortnite or something.
I mean, just think of it.
Oh
Made a-
yeah.
made a
Get into games.
Poker player. I would have picked up another
Keith,
hobby.
would you have beaten Red Dead Redemption 2 by now?
Well, so we started the podcast when I had my first kid. It was like a
Right.
month before.
Shout out Buddy Budinger.
I don't know how much of my taste in movies, video games has changed based on just getting older or having a kid. Like I found I beat Red Dead Redemption.
Oh,
but,
I forgot.
But
That's an incredible achievement, by the
Man,
way.
that's a lot of work.
it didn't feel like it. I did not get like 100% completion, and I had no interest. I felt like I was obsessed with the first one. Like I really enjoyed playing it constantly. After I beat it, I'm like, I don't feel like walking around this world. Like I don't, So
Right.
I don't know. Probably not. Yeah. So to answer the question, I don't think it. I guess we probably would have focused on different hobbies.
I mean, I was married when we started this podcast.
Right.
I'm now divorced. It may have kept me alive. This may have given me a thing
Oh.
to be alive for.
Keith's had 2 children. You discovered a child.
You found a
I
child.
found a kid. On the
I have.
internet.
I've made no progress as a human.
No, you're lying. You have evolved. What I need you.
I
to
have grown
have.
way more.
What I need you to stop doing is picking your arms up because you have no armpit hair, and that's very, very
Yeah, sorry
disturbing.
about that. Yeah, I don't have anybody.
He has no
I remember.
armpit hair.
I wouldn't own as many NBA jerseys.
I remember-
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have went to Memphis as
Oh, I
many
wanted to
times.
do the underarm hair we were talking about. I remember as a
It's
child
disgusting. He looks like Rosie O'Donnell.
seeing Danny Ainge hit a layup when he played for the Blazers. And he raised his arms up to celebrate, and I'd never seen a grown man with no underarm.
Yeah,
it blew
Probably shaved
my
it. Probably
mind.
shaved it.
Yeah.
This is the only Goran Dragic talk we'll have, but he shaved his pits for the EuroLeague basketball championship, which he was MVP. And when he held the trophy up, that's how I found out. It made me very sad.
Chuck doesn't like my my Jonas Valanciunas pits. He's got Pascal Siakam in a headlock over
Yeah,
there.
man, I'm over here giving Whoopi Goldberg.
So
a
those
noogie.
questions were submitted by our Patreon supporters. If you want us to read one of your questions and answer it on air,
Can I ask you guys some questions?
oh, you got to become a Patreon supporter. Do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. John, what's your
All
question?
right, well, I'm signing up for Patreon right now, and I want to ask, other than Kawhi Leonard, who I think gained the most from this, I think he moved into an echelon, a pantheon, if you will. What player do you think gained the most?
You mean besides Hall of Famer Kyle Lowry?
Yeah,
Okay.
HOF.
Had a great Game 6.
Fred Van Nelly Vliet is now he's on a steal of a contract now. His
Right.
next contract, he is gonna like cash
Taco
out.
Truck Fred, as we call him.
Yeah, he
around
looks
here.
like Charlie who owns a Choco Truck and 5 Points in East Nashville.
I feel okay.
kinda
That's an okay. I feel like it's an okay answer. It's not my answer. So you're Cal Larry,
Let me.
Larry.
not Mark, not for me.
Mark didn't gain anything, I don't think.
Okay.
He gained
Let me
respect at
think.
I think
dinner
you're right.
in his house with his brother now.
That's a good point.
Yeah, when he passes the paella, he's going to use the hand that has that ring
That's right.
because he ain't little.
Oh, and I gotta say the Gasol brother wins an NBA title on average. 313 days after leaving the Grizzlies.
Very good tweet.
Congratulations, hockey assist to Chris Wallace, who's now built 2 champions.
That's
Wow,
right,
bro. You
Yeah, brother.
mastermind.
Has built 2 champions while being the GM of the Grizzlies.
So no votes for Pascal Siakam. I feel like he made the Kawhi Leonard jump.
No, he's now what happened with Draymond after they won their first.
For me, he waxed and waned.
Okay.
You are right. Pascal Siakam entered the national consciousness.
Right.
That was huge for him.
So was it more of a Kawhi jump, or was it like the Danny Green hitting all those 3 jumps? where he fades away
Yeah, so Danny
back
Green,
into obscurity.
Danny Green had that Spurs run where I was like, man, he's that dude.
Danny Green's been good for a while.
then he forgot how to
Right.
shoot.
I'm
for
just
a couple
curious
years.
if he's going to stay with us. Or
Yeah.
not.
I mean, Danny Green this season, did he lead the NBA in
No, he was
three-point
incredible
percentage?
this
He
year.
was a 45% three-point shooter this
Yeah,
season.
but there was a couple years on the Spurs after that
But
championship.
Danny
he
Green
forgot
also,
to
as we
shoot.
watched that game, was mistaken for Jeremy Lin by my brother-in-law. So what I'm asking is, does he become like?
Household
Is this
name.
Because Kawhi made that jump.
I think Pascal has become your average NBA fan learned about him and knows about him now. So
Right.
yes, then that way made a big jump.
And there's a chance he's the Raptors' best player next year.
That is true.
Because who
Very,
knows,
very
who knows what's
possible.
going on.
But Kyle Lowry went from an entire career of playoff choker narrative
Right.
to winning a title and having a lot of good games along the way.
Although he did.
He had a great conference finals, and then
26 or 28 points tonight.
he had some bad. He had
Hit a
some
huge
He had
shot.
some bonehead plays in the game 5.
Okay,
at the end of
two-part
the
question:
game.
who lost the most here?
Nobody. This is actually the best way you can win.
DeMarcus
if you-
Cousins lost the most.
DeMarcus Cousins lost literal money throughout
He
the
lost a ton of money.
how he showed up into the playoffs. I got to say, Jonas Jerebko, not great. It did turn out he's been called Jonas Jerebko his whole career. He let the world know like 2 days ago.
Jonas Jerebko.
It's pronounced Jonas Jerebko.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Finally
Sorry.
got the sack up.
Sorry.
He finally
Jonas.
decided to let us know we were saying his name.
Oh,
wrong.
you know
Belly of
who
the
won the
whale.
most? Masai Ujiri, who's probably going to get played by Denzel Washington in the movie.
We said this before.
I'm ready to make this film.
Masai Ujiri made every correct move. He's like Coach of the Year, Dwayne Casey, get out of here.
Bye.
Franchise, maybe our franchise's greatest player, DeMar DeRozan, get out of here. Let's do this. Let's trade for a year rental of Kawhi Leonard. Let's trade for a year of Marcus Gasol. Boom,
So
championship.
what I think this does and may
Very
change.
succinctly and terrifyingly put.
Yeah, but this may change the way GMs take chances with a one-year rental on a player. This may be something that keeps new and fresh
That's a good
ideas from keeps them in the bloodline. Ujiri took a lot of chances. He
Maybe
could've
Boston
whipped.
should trade for
It
AD
could've been-
for 1 year to
It could have
AD.
been grand opening, grand closing if Nick Nurse didn't know how to run that team or any number of decisions that he made failed. It took every right decision for them to barely beat an injured team. So he may spurn the next whatever revolution of just signing whoever and being reckless.
Woj tweeted right after the game that the Washington Wizards have the reason maybe they have not signed a GM after months of waiting is they're going to offer Masai Ujiri $10 million a year.
Wow.
What's
to
the
come
what's
join
the
the
opposite
Wizards.
of a Woj bomb?
It's an unexploded Woj ordinance.
Woj
Yeah.
fart in the bathtub.
Yeah, it's hurt.
I mean, what is Ujiri making like a few million a year, 3 or 4
Right.
million now?
Yeah,
I would think like at most, right?
he's just,
What would you trade that in to have the John Wall albatross around your neck?
man, what Ujiri should do? He just showed Silicon Valley how brilliant he is. He should just go work for a tech company doing team building or something and make more money
We need
in a
to
week than
Stop having our brightest minds going to Silicon Valley and Wall Street.
It happens. It's why our country is broken.
I will say that the Facebook, Google, Silicon Valley surveillance state has failed. Turns out there's a new Iron and Wine Calexico album coming out, and no one told me.
Oh, wow.
I got no targeted ad.
Yeah.
I am 40 and have a beard and own their previous record.
Hello.
How does my computer and internet browser not know that and let me know?
Why aren't you getting ads for Bonnie Prince Billy re-edition?
I don't know, man.
Guys, this gives me
I saw there was a Radiohead release to all their these
So what Keith
two-
just said, those are like the
two
big
gigs of
puns,
OK Computer
big puns and
remixes?
fat Joes of his world.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a Terror Squad reunion tour, and I
There.
didn't get a DM.
That's
Go.
No, I'm with that. I just watched the movie The Net, and I'm glad you guys brought up internet security.
I can't get over you watching.
I watched The Net. It's incredible. The whole time, there's just these insane monologues railing on technology, and I'm watching this going, this would never happen if she had a smartphone with two-step verification. That's it. That's it. Like, if she had technology, she'd be fine. I don't buy it.
Were you going down the Dennis Miller catalog?
I was watching the
Try head of the class.
I was watching the Charlie Sheen film The Arrival,
Damn. Somehow, strangely, those are related to me.
which is
Why are those related to me?
Which honestly,
Is it the green on the box art?
I couldn't take it for all the dumb fun it was because part of that plot is aliens are hiding the global warming from the country.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like the aliens are coming to
haven't seen
Earth
that
because the Earth is heating up, and they're hiding it by doing fake news broadcasts, hiding the fact that global warming is occurring.
Because if it gets,
So it wasn't that much like laugh out loud. Oh, this is a funny premise.
man, I
was like, this
the
is how
net
it is,
opens
sir.
up with the undersecretary.
You need to
of,
stick to just. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I need to let you know what happens at the beginning of
I'm
the net.
sorry.
John,
I'm
excuse me.
sorry.
The undersecretary of defense kills himself because he found out he has AIDS. When he didn't have AIDS, somebody just hacked his internet file, his computer records.
That is dated and horrible.
Yes.
Well, guys, you guys, I guess I have no choice other than to watch Species tonight.
Yeah.
Because if we're gonna play this game, I'm gonna get my Natasha Henstridge on. All right.
Let's do. Do you guys have steak and eggs and worst of weeks?
I mean, it's just the worst is just everybody's legs exploding.
That's
The worst.
That's
it's
fair.
so sad.
I was going to do something totally different. My steak and eggs was going to be that the Brooklyn Nets, despite one doing that trade with the Celtics, here's 4 first-round picks, they somehow have passed the Celtics in like which team has the brighter future.
My goodness.
All the while, probably taking their star player.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's
out,
like
guaranteed.
the Boston Herald has already reported
Yeah.
that Kyrie Irving is going to go to the Nets.
That Rock Nation
Yeah,
signing.
he joined. He fired his agent. Kyrie joined the Rock Nation,
Jay-Z's
the old Jay-Z things, and
agency.
the Rock Nation, the owner of the Nets is like his brother or something. Or the president of basketball. Is
And
his
it's
brother runs Rock
literally
Nation.
scary how little Celtics fans care.
Also, the
Actually
Nets
frightening.
are not going to use their own draft pick for 10 straight years.
Yeah.
And they're going to get good. That kind of that's fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Celtics are still going to be. They still should be good once they trade for Mike Conley.
That's happening, right? Please, can we
mean,
just have our draft
they'll
pick
be
back?
good
Let's
again.
just have our draft pick back.
They got
Jeff Green
Jalen
do-over.
and, Jalen Brown and
But they
Jason
hit-
Tatum and Al Horford. They're all very good.
They hit solid doubles on all the draft picks they managed to get. The late round guys or the second round guys that they had. And was Dinwiddie a draft pick of theirs? Karis LeVert?
They just let like the Bulls just let Dinwiddie go,
yeah.
or the Pistons or somebody. He was on both
where
those
was he?
teams.
Dinwiddie first debut.
What about LeVert?
No,
Is
they
LeVert the guy?
nailed Karis LeVert.
And Jared
They
Allen.
drafted Jared Allen.
So the ones they got, they hit.
No, they did hit those.
And they've made good decisions after a Russian came in and
They found Joe
made
Harris.
a big mess. Yeah.
I mean,
No, Joe Harris came home.
they even
Brooklyn, where he belongs.
Where he's
despite
fixing
their
bicycles.
obsession with Alan Crabb,
Yeah.
despite
They let everything-
Can you believe they were able to unload that? By the
This
way,
is like the guy from what's that movie I just
Species.
watched? No,
The Arrival.
Stars born.
Charlie Sheen.
A Star is
By the way,
Born. I was
Charlie
talking
Sheen
about
is
it.
fat in The Arrival.
No.
amazing.
The
I
Nets
gotta
got
watch
good despite the debilitating substance addiction, like the star of A Star Is Born. They got good despite the fact they offered Alan Crabb this horrible contract.
Right.
The Blazers matched it. They still then traded for the horrible contract, got nothing for it. They just took it because they wanted it, and then they just spent 2 first-round picks to get rid of it. So despite this debilitating addiction to Alan Crabb, they're still really well set up for the
Why
future.
couldn't they done that
That was
with-
my steak and eggs.
with Tyler Johnson. Remember
They did.
They threw
the
that
Heat, the
19
Heat matched, man.
And we matched him, and
The
he
Heat
turned into a
matched.
dumpster fire.
It worked out.
Hey, you got Goran back,
No,
baby.
it
Well,
worked.
they
It worked
might-
out. The Suns helped you out for no reason.
Yeah, they
Just
because
completely
James
helped you
Jones.
out.
Yeah, there were
called it a
reasons.
chit.
There were reasons.
Yeah, Pat called it a chit for James Jones.
Did you want to do a best, John? Or we've been just bouncing around.
Can I slam my best and worst together?
Yeah, please.
Mine are
The
interchangeable.
beautiful
usually.
horror of my least favorite player, Draymond Green, who is just incredible at basketball.
him.
He's so good.
And really, like, almost willed him back into it post a Klay Thompson injury. There's 2 things that I started to enjoy more than I thought I could enjoy, and that's the aforementioned. I talked about Kawhi Leonard ripping a rebound away from someone bigger and stronger than him,
Yeah.
and then a Draymond Green pass.
Man, there were some.
It's 2 of the nicest things you can see on the
Yeah,
court.
there were some moments. There was like one great play where the Warriors just flipped the ball around, and Klay had a perfect pass. It was delivered into his sweet spot from Draymond from the other side of the court, and it's just beautiful basketball. And Draymond is a key cog in one of the greatest teams ever assembled.
I think Draymond's passing to me is LeBron James level as far as how perfectly it's placed in the other players.
Yeah. LeBron would do that. He would hit your guy. You wouldn't have to move or change your form. It would be
because LeBron is he's not flashy about passing,
but he
just rifles it right into your mitts,
exactly where it needs to go. And that's the difference sometimes when you got a guy closing in on you who's 6'7", 200 pounds.
But for me, it's just just beautiful, nightmarish horror of Draymond Green.
Man, he's incredible, but you have to live with some of his mistakes. He had a bunch of turnovers tonight.
I was sure he was going to get technical and get
18
suspended for a
boards
game
tonight is
7.
when I lost count.
Calling that 18 boards.
It may have been more. That was the last
I mean,
time I saw.
I didn't look at any of the box
Also-
scores.
Another triple-double.
It seemed like he could not help himself from getting technical fouls, and it seemed like several straight games.
Right.
And then this game 6, when he knew he could not, he didn't really do anything.
Right.
So he can control it.
And old Draymond came out.
He referenced it. It just shows you that he likes doing it.
Old Draymond came out though at the end where he kind of complained for a call and turned the ball over when there was no foul. And that's that's the frustration of knowing your first and third best players are no longer in a series and your championship are escaping.
Are those the first and third best players? I feel like Draymond is the best player on the board.
That's insane.
He's so good.
Importance to the team's fluidity and all that stuff. Draymond plays a big role. I mean,
I think you can always argue that Kevin Durant might be the best player, but he's not the most important player.
Yeah, I definitely would make that argument.
But
although his brief Phoenix-like return was pretty amazing,
and he looked and he looked like he wanted to play too. He wasn't out there moping before before tip off. He was excited. He was dunking. It looked like everything was. It's such a shame.
This is a very memorable finals.
It is.
I think there's a lot of moments that we're going to remember.
I actually watched this finals very closely for the first time.
That's awesome.
Since
the last two I checked out.
Early 90s.
I was at Bonnaroo for the past 4.
This is my first non-Bonnaroo finals in a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, all the Warriors finals I've actually been extremely interested in because I like the Warriors, but also I can have it on, watch, and then focus on the end. Cheering for Marc Gasol, this is definitely the closest I've paid attention to the finals in a while. My worst thing was actually just going to be Grizzlies related when they introduced their new head coach. I mean, I'm fine, whatever. Yeah. They hired a guy, whatever.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
At least it's like he's known for something funny.
My worst thing was on the dais when they introduced everybody. I was older than every person on the dais.
That is painful.
So it was the head coach, the GM, and then the old head Tayshaun Prince. I was still older than Tayshaun Prince.
That's how you know.
I was like, what in the
John, your armpit.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Real quick, let's do
look into the eye.
Let's do an awards segment of the program.
What's the eye shop looking like?
The International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. It's given each week to the worst performance in a box score.
There are some candidates.
We got a couple candidates. Oh, hang on. I closed that window.
It's all right. I will entertain Chuck with my armpit.
So let me describe it.
Okay.
It is wispy, very faint hair. It's there.
The beginnings of pubis.
It looks like, you ever seen an old person naked?
I am, yes.
Yeah.
The movie Cocoon.
Yeah. Well, it's like that.
Wilford Brimley nude.
I can't wait.
My armpit is like Wilford Brimley.
Is that frequently
Kathy Bates and About Schmidt?
Is that frequently passed around fact that Tom Cruise is older now than Wilford Brimley was in Cocoon true?
Is that real?
I see that all the time, but I don't know.
All I know is
you just blew my mind. I need to get back on the internet.
Justin Bieber challenged Tom Cruise to a UFC fight.
Can you challenge
who you got?
This says nuts. Come on, dude.
Tom Cruise.
Who you got?
Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm just saying, there's a year
breaking news. Klay Thompson has a torn ACL.
Yikes!
So,
what did that team do?
Monkey's paw.
They are building the new arena on cursed ground.
They played too many.
Did you guys watch The Arrival in the Net or Poltergeist? What's going on here?
Amazing. They played too many games. The
solution is a March Madness style single elimination tournament held after a 13-game season.
No, 50-something games.
Made or deed and emceed by Chuck Anderson.
With a play-in tournament for the last two instead of the dummies. We got half the league going to the playoffs.
Keith, have we stalled enough for you to find these stats?
Yeah, we have
too many games.
I thought we were going to go back to my my theory that it's not they play too many games; they're too healthy. They exercise too much. Yeah. You got to relax.
You need more Tommy Heinsohn guys who play the right way.
It's a little
smoke at halftime,
it's like whatever. There is a toll that playing playoff basketball this late in the year, and some of these guys play Team USA ball. They're not getting any rest. You have to stop playing at that high level sometimes, or your body will make you stop. And that's what's happening. You can't do that stuff every year and expect to not get injured.
All right, so over the stretch of the finals, this is the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. Given to the worst performance in a box score. Not a lot of overwhelming candidates. No one really pooped the bed with a massive score. But what we got is from Game 2, Pascal Siakam was 5 for 18. 12 points.
Reversion to the mean.
12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists.
On fire.
No turnovers, 4 personal fouls. And then Danny Green, who had one amazing game, and then otherwise a not very memorable offensive performance. In Game 4, he was 1 for 8, 3 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, 3 steals, 2 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. And then
effort.
In Game 4, Kyle Lowry was 3 for 12, 10 points, 2 boards, 7 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. So we have Pascal Siakam, 5 for 18, 12, 8, and 5. Danny Green was 1 for 8 with 3 points, 3 boards, 3 steals. Kyle Lowry, 3 for 12, 10 points, 7 assists, 2 boards, 3 steals.
Rock'em Siakam.
Rock'em Siakam, only because whatever.
I mean, he got up 18 shots.
He did.
That's way more than anybody else.
We care about volume.
Struggling.
Hey, but that was our last.
It's the only one that seems like it could have been in one of our regular season ones.
Maybe.
I mean, honorable mention, I guess you could say Quinn Cook.
Boogie was 1 for 7.
With 0 for 5.
A glorious 1 for 7.
Boogie had a 1 for 7. Jonas Urebko had a 1 for 6. Mark
had some dinguses.
Mark had a 0 for 5. So congratulations, Pascal Siakam.
Your coming out party. You did it in every
winning International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award and being an NBA champion. Par fadeaway, gentlemen. A week from tonight.
Watch party.
It's now Friday, but we have a draft watch party at the mainstay in Nashville.
I may become a GIF again.
From 6 to 9 p.m. at the mainstay.
6 to 9.
The Grizzlies have the second pick. We'll be giving away Grizzlies prizes. You can stay as long as you want.
Be there when we take Breaker Morant.
We'll try to be giving away prizes from 6 to 9, and there will be a drink special or free beer or something.
Yeah,
First beer's on us.
First beer's on us.
Yeah, we buy your first drink.
So that's not bad. That's pretty good.
And I usually you can ask power listener Rudy St. Clair. I'll smoke weed with you outside the mainstay.
There you have it, folks.
So come on out.
Pure
hard sell.
Hard sell. I'm sure some of you may stay away because of that, but Rudy drove up from Muscle Shoals. Just I'm sure the chance maybe.
You can sit with me as I vociferously eat the peanut butter and jelly wings.
Bro, those things are fire.
Pretty good food there. Pretty good.
Hey man, this is our 5th season. I want to take a moment to let you guys know I'm glad we did it.
5.
Oh yeah, 5 regular seasons done. 5 playoffs
Raise
done.
a glass.
Here's another.
My diet, wild cherry Pepsi.
I am looking.
You guys drinking my Jefferson's Reserve?
I'm drinking all his expensive bourbon.
I only had one.
I've been pouring drinks. This is my 4th, I think. It's an incredible bourbon. Thank you so much.
I used to like it quite a bit.
I'm looking forward to NBA Summer League. I booked my hotel.
You guys have so much to look forward to.
John, I'm mad that you're not going. I'm very mad. I'm sorry your dog is sick and all that. But we are gonna. Are we doing, Keith? We're gonna do a live thing there.
I don't. I'm not sure what we're doing. We'll be there.
We should do it.
There's nothing official yet. If you want to go to the Golden Nugget on Monday, July 8th at 9 p.m., the Round Ball Rock guys are going to the Tillman Fertitta slot machines.
Yes.
They're going to hit Tillman for all he's worth. So if the Ramble Rock podcast meetup, I believe it's
their
9
meetup.
p.m. on Monday.
I talked to those guys on the internet, and they were interested in doing a little pod thing.
Yeah.
And there's a shady casino, and I know a guy there. We might.
Look, if I go to Vegas, you guys, I'm never coming back.
Yeah, you are. You don't drink anymore. You don't.
Can't even go with my girlfriend.
You don't
That's how
drink.
afraid I am.
You don't do drugs. You're fine.
Chuck, you
Shut up.
can take all of your money, more money than you have, and put it all on black.
They will give you a mark
I can walk in
They will give you
there.
a marker.
I can go in there and be like,
on credit.
so here's how much money I could potentially earn
Yeah.
next year.
Right.
How about you give me that amount of money in chips, and then I will put it all on a few games of chance. Can we make that deal?
The one thing I also want to do on my birthday, besides the $100 spent at Cheesecake Factory, is just get as much cash as possible as I can from all my credit cards. I want to do a max withdrawal.
It will shock you.
I want to do no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of credit I have is insane.
It will shock you.
And I just want to get it all withdrawn, like just to hold it.
Keith, you
Solid
can
move.
use your home
I know.
and your car.
I'm not saying I want to go to a bank and say because they will give you all the money.
Yeah.
When we were buying a house 10 years ago,
Yeah.
we were like, "This is our price range." They were like, "We will lend you $1 million." And we were like,
Yeah.
"What? We can't. You should not do that.
I bought a house.
Like, why would you lend me that much money?"
I bought a house in 2006 in the height of the mortgage
Yep.
tomfoolery. I was making $30,000 a year, and they approved me for $325,000.
See?
Well done,
Not
America.
good,
And that's why we no longer have the Larry O'Brien trophy, America. Stuff like that. Anyway.
Always been on black.
Hey man, Trump won.
So check us out. I guess just, we'll be in Summer
to
League.
Vegas.
That's like a month. That's
Yeah,
July.
it's like a month.
July
We'll do
5, I'll be there.
We'll do a couple. I'm getting there the 8th. I'm getting there, trying to get there just in time for the Golden Nugget.
Last year I did a breakfast meetup on the first Saturday. I might do that again.
Yeah, I think we should hit
Dave Duffer will be there.
We should hit the
Duff. The Duff is there.
Dave the Duff Man Duffer.
That should be our spot.
We'll do a fast break Duff cast.
Duff Cast. Oh man,
Fast break, Duff break.
Last time I was there, Damon Ronguler
Duffist.
called me Evil Dave DeFore.
That's what you are, man.
Evil Dave Duffer.
Well, let's wrap this up since it's real late. And-
Not for me. I'm about to hit the club. Boy.
It's 12:40.
yeah, I gotta.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 12:40,
Oh
which
my
is the
God.
latest
I gotta
podcast.
go
What
let-
have we
We've done a long
done?
time.
My dog out.
And again, the NBA landscape has been ruined
Yeah.
by the Raptors.
Yeah.
They did a literal Jurassic Park the movie.
This was
They
Revelations.
tore through this. Like, no Kevin Durant next year. Klay Thompson's going to be out for 8 months. We ruined Klay Thompson's summer. That really bums me out.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum will be back next
They
year.
made Joel Embiid cry.
Yeah, we were so
What a
busy
season.
Giannis is
seeing if we could let the Raptors
Giannis
win.
is so heartbroken. He looks sad in Disney World.
The starters got fired.
The
Stars got fired.
What the hell happened this season,
world's
guys?
upside
The
down.
world's coming apart. Anyway,
Dwight Howard blew his O-ring farting.
if you want to support our show, you can do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. You can follow us on Twitter at fastbreakbreak. You can follow Chuck, the mighty Chuck.
Hey now.
Follow John, Master John Burr.
Don't follow me.
Follow us on
All
Instagram
wrestling
and
and-
Facebook.
Magic the Gathering.
All right, you guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fair break, man. You understand?